Hello everyone. In today's video, we are gonna talk about a couple lures that I picked up. One was from Walmart and the other I got from Academy, and I'm excited to talk to you about the one from Academy. But first, we got a cream crawfish lure. I guess it's just like the same thing as Rebel Craw. So recently I fished at a lake called Marine Creek in Fort Worth, and I fished, along the the boat ramp. And I noticed I was catching a bunch of hand-sized bluegills, which were like pan-sized. So I decided to grab this because I know them bluegills will slam this. So once I catch a bunch of bluegills, I'll tell you what I really think about it. But I'm gonna fish this on Monday and stuff. Let me take it out the box and show y'all. It has good color to it, and it kind of really does look like crawfish. The only thing that I really got to say about it is I wish that there was more detail on the top, because it's just plain on the top, right here. Because it really doesn't look like a claw from right here, but it sure does look like a crawfish right here. But I guess it doesn't really matter. And then it got the orange right here, which will probably work good when it's sunny. I would recommend you put this on 4 to 8 pound test line, mono. Make sure it's light line, it's not that fluoro, because the fluoro will make it sink, So don't you do that, because the action won't be right. Now, I'm gonna tell you, this next lure I'm gonna talk about for a while. So recently I've been watching, AP Bazzing, I've been watching Lunkers TV, I've been watching Lake Fork Guy, I've been watching John B, and Scott Martin. And so when I found out that they had Googan baits, I had to pick me up a pack. And I went to Academy just now, and you won't believe it. Like, most of all the Googan baits were sold out, and they only had one, and I'm glad I purchased it. And it's the Googan baits. It's the Googan baits Okeechobee craw trench hog. Now let me get it out the pack, guys. I'm trying to do it with one hand. Hold on. And bear with me, guys. I'm using a phone. I don't have a camera yet. So the quality's probably bad, or the video might not look good, but who cares, right? I'm trying to do the best I can for you. And this is what it looks like. It's got the green pumpkin with blue flakes on the top, and then it's got full blast blue, but it's really nice on the sides because it's green pumpkin. It's kind of like, I feel like this is a vibe right here. This is a vibe. I think the bass just won't stop. I don't think they're gonna stop buying it. And I almost tasted it. It was disgusting. Ooh. But I mean, it kind of is like a mixture between a creature bait, kind of like a lizard. I can kind of see a lizard out of this. Maybe not. But I really think this is gonna work like as a trailer, like a jig or chatterbait. And I think what you gotta do with this is, like, on a jig, I feel like you gotta put it next to like structure, so like trees, grass, weed lines, stumps. What else is there? Rocks. And with chatterbaits, you can just put that on a chatterbait and just put it in the middle of the column and reel it in and stuff. And you can even Texas rig this, Carolina rig this. If you Texas rig it, man, just use it just like I told you. Just put it on round structure. Hop it, bop, 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 bop. make this look like a crawfish. Make this look like a crawfish or a wounded animal, a wounded bait that they just absolutely can't, stop eating. I'm really impressed by the Googan squad with their lures. I really am impressed, and I can't wait to use this. I don't know how they came up with the color scheme because, look at this. It's like blue and green pumpkin, and then on top it's like green pumpkin with flakes. It's just like so amazing, man. I knew it'd take time for them to make these lures, but it was worth the wait. I can't wait to use them, and I feel like I'm gonna catch a bunch of bass. The only thing is, I haven't caught a 5-pound since last year in springtime, and I'm gonna tell you the story about that. So, hold on, my phone's ringing, and I can't concentrate. So we're gonna wait for it to stop ringing. So, I was fishing. I had a bunch of medium minnows and stuff, and I threw it out like in front of a tree and stuff. Like it was like a bunch of brush, and then I threw in the middle of it. I went to go to the boat ramp, and I was just la 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 la, using worms trying to catch those big bluegills. I happened to look, and my bobber was green. It was a green bobber, and it was totally sunken. I saw wakes where it was before. I happened to look at my rod, and it was like, pew, 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 pew. I'm like, holy shit, this is a big fish. So I ran. I was running like I was a madman. And so then I picked up the rod. I didn't even have to, I didn't have to even, what they call it? I didn't even have to set the hook. I just reeled it in real hard, and he was on. And he went straight underneath the tree. I had to wait for him to come out, and he'd start splashing. I was like, my adrenaline rush started coming, and I reeled him up to me and stuff. And he was darting, so I jumped in the water and I picked him up, and he was so huge. Yeah, but I'm trying to catch another one. I sure am, because that was the biggest fish of my life for a bass. Recently, I went to a catfish hole, and I was using cut shad. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering and stuff. I'm kind of nervous, but I was using cut shad and bluegills, because I was catching bluegills left and right, so I cut them up and stuff, and so I chunked it. I'm sorry, I'm gonna calm down, but I cut them in little chunks. Normally I cut them down like this, like horizontally, but I cut them vertically into little chunks. So I put the chunk on top of the circle hook first, and then I put the whole shad on there. I threw it out at a diagonal, 45-degree diagonal, and stuff. And I waited for a long time, probably like 15 minutes. And I was fishing with bluegills. Then the next thing you know, my rod just, I picked it up like this. And I reeled it in, and he just darted across half the lake. Then I had to reel him in like I was saltwater fishing. And then he came. I could see him. He was at the bank, and then he darted out. So I had to get my net, and I raised my hand like this. I got him up, and that catfish tore my thumbs up. But it was worth it, and he was a swanch. But like I said, give these Googan baits a try. It's worth the money. It was $6.48. For 7 craws. That's less than what you're getting, so it's worth it. And they got other stuff like the craw, the mondo worm. They got those dragonfly ones, those drop shot worms, basically dragonfly. I think that's what it's called. You got those finesse worms they got. So it's worth your money, and I advise y'all to get them. All I gotta say is I hope y'all have good fishing time. Catch those big bass, catching big bluegills. and give me your results. Talk to you later, fams.